I had a roofing company, and one bad review basically killed his entire business when he came to us. I'm predicting the traffic that websites will get, 50% of that traffic is going to be AI bots. You need to start thinking about, okay, what are the bots looking for? How are they going to consume the data? As a business, you need to be on social media as well. You can't not have a presence. That is being looked at by the SERPs. That is being looked at by customers. There's nothing worse than trying to find a company and you land on their Facebook page and it's the last post was 3 years ago. You wonder, are these people even in business? Very, very, very important.
You're watching Marketing Misfits with Norm Farrar and Kevin King.
Mr. Farrar, another week, another episode. What's up, man?
Yeah, it's more like another week, another dollar.
Another week, another dollar. That Canadian dollar doesn't go very far, though. So
that's a whole
that's
20
like
cents.
25 cents, another quarter in U.S. terms.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. Every time I pay somebody in Canada, I'm like, okay, they pay them $400 or whatever, and it turns into like 780 or something in Canadian or some crazy. I'm exaggerating, but some crazy amount. I'm like, all right. And no wonder your cigars are so damn expensive up there.
No, that's the government. 100% the government.
What'd you tell me one time? Like a $20 cigar here is like $90 or something? Not US dollars, not 90 Canadian dollars, but 90 US or something like that.
Okay, so here's a quick story before we get into our guests. But during COVID, I ran out of cigars. So I ordered from Canada. And there's a reason why I don't order from Canada. So I had 6 cigars, same cigars that I usually smoke down in the States. And they're usually around, total for those cigars, were about $65, maybe $65. I could get a sample pack for less. And $465 later.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's like 7.5 times or something.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, you remember when we went to Montreal, those prices are just nuts.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter.
I'm glad you were paying.
You didn't see it. I put in the expense slip. So.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
Yeah,
we ended up paying that. Huh? I see. You snuck that one in. I see.
Uh-huh.
All right. Here, I thought you were a good guy.
No, not so much. Just old and wise.
We got an old and wise person today. Not old. That's the wrong word. But
I think you can say old.
Experienced and wise person on the podcast today, right? Somebody that you know.
Yeah, so I could say, like, he's old. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right.
Yeah, I've known him for years, but I can't wait to talk to him. But let's see. I think we could just bring him right on. What do you think?
I think if you know how to hit the button, we can do it. I'm gonna get you a little bumper sticker that says I can hit the button. So you can put on the back of your Land Rover.
I'll give you a bumper sticker. Howdy, Peter.
Did I hear you guys calling me old?
No, he was.
I took it back.
Yeah, Norm went on, didn't he?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. We normally get at least once a year to meet up.
Yeah, we do.
And that's over at our buddy Colin's boat party. But he's not having it this year, unfortunately. So
no, apparently he's
we could crash his vacation. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, you know what is...
Wait, Norm, you said he's not doing the boat party this year in December?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Decided to take a year off, and good for him. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, he said that Kevin came last time and caused a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah,
so
I guess
he's
it's my
canceling
fault.
it.
Yeah,
I remember.
I was thinking about everything. I was like, what is this garbage thing?
All right. So you've got a really great background, and I remember you as the coup from Hostopia.
Yeah.
And then you went on to do a bunch of different things. You want to get into it with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been a tech entrepreneur forever, but that doesn't make me old. I started my career, my entrepreneurial ship before even Hostopia with my own company. I had an idea, and young took out all the equity out of my house, let it ride, and struck a deal with a company called Best Buy here in Canada. And they would essentially take back anything and everything that a customer would bring back to them as far as returns. And they were scrapping a lot of the stuff because whatever they could return to a vendor, they would scrap. So I ended up striking a deal where I would buy all of their anything and everything from a hardware perspective. And I would pay them 8 cents on the retail dollar, which came out to, if you look at from a wholesale perspective, they were probably recovering around 12 to 15% instead of scrapping it. Mm-hmm. The deal wasn't manifested. It was, you need to take it all. That was the deal and why I got it so low. Left a 6-figure paying job at a utility here in Canada where I started during university and worked my way up. I was in, mentorship for management, et cetera, et cetera. But, been an entrepreneur from even a young age, right? Like all these little small businesses that I would start and just ways to make money. But this, I just had a great feeling about. So I did it. Took out, like I said, the equity out of my house, got the deal, and sure enough, here comes the first load. This is in the year 2000, around there. Yeah, 2000. Mm-hmm. And big tractor trailer pulls up to my house because I had nowhere to keep the stuff. And my plan was I'll just put it in the garage and then, from there I'll eBay it. And open up the truck, look inside, and it's full of Windows for 95, like Windows for Dummies, 95.
What?
Yeah.
The book?
Oh, yeah.
The book?
The book.
Okay.
The book. They used to sell the book. And they had a ton of them there. I was devastated. I had to cut a check for like $20,000. I had to buy it. I thought, okay, let's turn lemons into lemonade. I could at least, give it away to charity and get, some form of a write-off, et cetera. Yeah. Like, I couldn't even get rid of it to a charity. No one wanted it, right? Like your Windows is in the whole different phase. Like it's in, millennium at that point. So not only did I have to pay $20,000 to buy all of this, then I had to pay money to dispose of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Second load comes around. And I had signed up.
Oh, okay.
It was a 3-year deal. And I was taking everything, Canada, coast to coast, anything and everything that they could not return to vendors got shipped to me. They'd save it all up at the depot. And then, once they had a tractor trailer load full, they ship it off to me. Sometimes it could be weeks, right? Next load comes and it's a bunch of, patch cables and power cables and, all kinds of stuff that, again, couldn't even make my money back. And I'm at the point where, okay, if things don't start turning around soon, I'm actually going to lose my house. And it was just me and my dog at the time, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world, but still, right? It was everything I had worked for, the down payment, blah, blah, blah. And third shipment comes. I open it up. It's an 18-wheeler full of PlayStation 2s.
Ooh.
Yeah. PlayStation 2s. In the box, they all came as a package with a game and, a controller. And I'm looking through them, and every single one had a reason why it couldn't get returned. And it was consistent. Can't read disk, can't read disk, can't read disk. So I thought, okay, well, if the main units are garbage, at what I paid to buy them, I actually might be able to double my money just by selling the game and the controller as an extra controller on eBay. And that was my original plan. And then I took a unit, tried it, sure enough, wouldn't read any discs, wouldn't read the disc. I tried, a couple of units, they were all the same. And I thought, there's this electronics repair shop near my house. I went there and just said, look, to the guy, small one solopreneur, one-man operation. I just said, look, can you take a look at this and see what might be happening and how much will it cost to fix it? Because I thought, hey, if I could fix it. At that time, PlayStation 2, the demand was so high, it was retailing for $3.99 Canadian in the stores.
That's $100 US. Right?
Yeah, exactly. People were lining up for these things, and they'd take them and then they'd sell them on eBay for twice as much, doubling their money. Like, it was just nuts. It was mayhem for those. So as I'm driving back to my house, I get a call from that electronics guy. He says, "Come pick it up. It's fixed." What? I'm like, what was it? He's like, bad design. The way they designed these, there was dust on the laser. I'm like, what? So I went back and he's explaining it to me. He's like, look at this. They've got a fan like on a computer at the back that's constantly running. People are buying them, throw them on the carpet in front of their TV on the ground, and they're playing. And that little fan is not only sucking in air, there's no filter to stop the dust. This was the early version of PS2. And they'd get full of dust and then stop reading. So he's like, all I did was just spray it with air, and there we go. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, how many can you do? I've got
a truckload. Huh?
Yeah,
thousands, literally thousands. He's like, bring them all to me and I'll be able to work on them and I'll call you when they're ready. So anyways, long story short, I ended up not only making my money back on that load, I made quite a bit of money on top of it. And that was basically me by myself listing them on eBay. Open Box Shop was the company.
Hey, Norm, you'll love this, man. I talked to a seller the other day doing $50K a month. But when I asked them what their actual profit was, they just kind of stared at me.
Are you serious? That's kind of like driving blindfolded.
Exactly, man. I told them, you got to check out Sellerboard, this cool profit tool that's built just for Amazon sellers. It tracks everything like fees, PPC, refunds, promos, even changing COGS during using FIFO.
Aha, but does it do FBM shipping costs too?
Sure does. That way you can keep your quarter four chaos totally under control and know your numbers, because not only does it do that, but it makes your PPC bids, it forecasts inventory, it sends review requests, and even helps you get reimbursements from Amazon.
Now that's like having a CFO in your back pocket.
You know what? It's just $15 a month. But you got to go to sellerboard.com/misfits, sellerboard.com/misfits. And if you do that, they'll even throw in a free 2-month trial.
So you want me to say, go to sellerboard.com/misfits and get your numbers straight before your accountant loses it?
Exactly.
All right. That's a great marketing or opportunity story.
Yeah.
So was it just on eBay that you were selling these, or did you try to sell them elsewhere?
Back then, eBay was one of the first marketplaces of this kind. And people were quitting their full-time jobs because they were, starting eBay accounts and selling on eBay, etc. And it was a great platform at the time. I ended up getting so big. I had a They were like call centers, but I called them posting centers. And I ended up having one up in Stouffville. Like I went outside of the city to get just to be able to afford it, right? And get good talent. In the smaller towns, I found I got good talent. And I had 24/7 operation, right? It was posting stations. People would come in, they'd take their, we would put them in these bundles of electronics. They would test it, take a picture of it, do the description, post it, next. And they were responsible to also handle inquiries and everything else. And it was 3 shifts around the clock we were doing this. Had some great success. And then the company Future Shop called me up and said, look, Best Buy is acquiring us, and they're going to be opening up competing stores in the same region. So essentially our footprint's going to double. Whether someone decides to buy a TV from Future Shop or they go down the street to Best Buy, it's all going to be the same mother company. Would you be interested in extending this to Best Buy? I'm like, absolutely. And man, oh man, it just took off. I couldn't even keep up. We couldn't keep up. And with electronics, especially hardware, like the more it's like I had storage spaces rented everywhere and it was just mayhem. And the problem is every month that goes by, you're losing money on the value of those products, right? It's just, that's hardware, right? So I ended up starting to wholesale it out. So I started looking at who would want a tractor trailer load full of electronics that may or may not work. There's zero guarantee. And I came across the idea of, electronic refurbishers. So these guys exist because a lot of the manufacturers would use them to refurbish electronics, and then they sell them off as refurbished electronics, right? B grade, whatever. They'd go to flea markets and all these other retailers. So long story short, I ended up setting up an entire network of refurbishers, one real big one down in Chicago, and they started fighting for my product. They were just doing so well with it. These guys were set up to test it, refurb it. They would, wrap it. It would be basically brand new. The one guy in Chicago wanted my deal, right? He wanted all of it. And I kept saying, no, I can't give you everything. I need to diversify. I can't have one customer. And if you decide you don't want it this month, et cetera, right? And then one day he calls me and he says, go to your fax machine. Again, this is when we used faxes, but go to your fax machine.
He's old, Norm, remember.
Okay.
That's a giveaway. Right?
I don't remember fax machines.
Oh, there we go. Well, in the Stone Age, we used these things called fax machines. He said, go to your fax machine. Go to my fax machine, and here's a check, made out to me for a large sum of money. And he's like, I'm just going to buy the company from you. I'm like, sorry, I can't. Even though it was a lot of money. My first real big business, right? I'm like, this is my livelihood. What would I do without it? And he kept sending faxes to the point where I said yes. I sold it.
Wow.
Yeah, I did very, very well. And it's one of those things that, first time you ever make money. Like I don't come from, a family of wealth or money. And, for me, it was, wow, I am, and I don't know, can I disclose numbers here? Like, it doesn't matter to me. It's all public anyways, but like it was $10 million, right? So $10 million to me was, wow, I have hit the mother lode. And, the sports cars started to arrive, the boats, the traveling around, and I'm a single guy at this point.
And the girls started to arrive too.
The girls started to arrive, the nightclubs, the bottle serve, like it was insanity. And I went nuts spending money like it was nothing. And then at the end of the first year, my accountant came to me and said, you need to cut a check for about $4.2 million to the government for taxes. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
He's like, you had to pay. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's a business. I am not paying the same amount as I would as if I was, just an employee. Like, can we write things off? But I was so green and so naive. And lesson learned, I didn't structure the company properly. I had set it up as a sole proprietor. It wasn't an actual corporation. And the tax rates were different. I got hit hard. And then I was like, wow, what do I do now? I don't have any money.
Oh, no.
or not, I don't have any money, but I had gone through it all.
I don't have $5 or $4 million that I should have had.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So,
Peter, one of the things that I love about your stories, and especially this is one of the reasons why I wanted you on the podcast, is you've got some great branding and marketing stories. And the one that I know the best is this little company that started out called Hostopia.
Yeah.
And then it ended up selling over to Deluxe Corp. Can you tell that story? Because it's phenomenal. And it was, I believe, the world's largest hosting company from nothing, right?
Yeah. So
Hostopia. I'm old. I remember Hostopia. Back in the days before Google even existed.
So Hostopia, I did not start. Colin, who is a mutual friend of Norm and I, he actually started it. But that's when I came across Hostopia, was right after I had to pay that big tax bill. And I thought, geez, I need to get involved into something here or open. And I didn't have any ideas at the time. And I came across Hostopia. It was a small Canadian company that was providing hosting to, resellers, primarily digital designers. And, I think revenues were about $3 million at the time, about there. And I joined as chief operating officer. And we took Hostopia. We had a great ride. We had a fabulous team. Like, the executive team, we all just meshed. We all worked well together. Colin was our leader at the time, and he just did a fabulous job. But we took that company from a little-known Canadian company that was doing $3 million to we were a global provider to telecom and service providers. We were about $35 million in annual revenue. We had an office in the UK. We had an office in
you were
the
traveling.
US. I was on the road all the time, Monday to Friday. And we ended up going public. We ended up having a very successful IPO. We had raised about $30 million at the time. And we were executing on our plan, and we were going to go out and not just grow in additional regions, but we were going to acquire, et cetera, et cetera. And then here comes this company we'd never heard of called Deluxe Corporation.
The Czech guy.
The Czech guys, yeah. None of us had heard of them. We were all Canadian, right? They're huge down in the States, but anyhow. Turns out they're, Fortune 500 company. They're, the largest wholesale check provider to banks. Mm-hmm. We were the largest wholesale provider to telecoms for small business, website building and marketing, and they felt we were a great fit. Long story short, we sold it, 124 million. I ended up staying on as president of the company. One of us had to stay on, and I was the chosen one, I guess. But, listen, we had a great run. I doubled that company within 2 years. I doubled that company from 30 to $60 million. We went down hard. We basically had 90% market share in Canada. From coast to coast, any telco provider, not just the big three, but even all the smaller guys, the Videotrons, the ISPs, everybody was reselling our product. We then went down and really expanded in the States. Our big one was AT&T. We won AT&T. That was a huge deal for us. Then expanded into Latin America. Like, I've got stories down there where we met with Carlos Slim, who owns American Mobile. And it was actually Carlos Slim's brother, I believe. It wasn't actually Carlos Slim. It was a Slim family member or somebody. And I'll tell you, like, it was surreal. And then, him inviting us to go out to have a celebratory lunch with them because they decided they were going to sell our product exclusively. And, the army's blocking off streets and the entire restaurant is closed down for just us. It was just unbelievable times, and had a ton of fun, like just growing it. And we strongly believed in the product and ourselves and what we could do for the telecoms, and that resonated, right?
Norm, you said it was a branding thing. So what did you do? Was it the branding that took it from 30 to 60, or you did some sort of innovative strategy there? Can you maybe explain
a number of innovative things? The big one was when we would go into, let's say, AT&T or any other telecom or ISP, they were all reselling somebody's solution, right? Like, if you were selling internet, you were selling web hosting. They went hand in hand. But when we went in, what we found was that, the biggest concern for these telecoms was if we move our hosting customers from our current provider to you, is there going to be downtime when we migrate them over? Is there going to be outages? How's the customer experience going to change, et cetera, et cetera? So we came up with everybody thought we were nuts, but when we sat down and worked out the numbers, it was like, why don't we offer a migration guarantee?
I remember that. Yeah.
Like, why don't we offer a migration guarantee? And it's like, oh my, everybody was like, well, all it takes is one wrong thing to go wrong, and we could be spending a ton of money. I said, oh, well, like, okay, how much is a hosting customer worth to them? $10 a month times 12 months, $120. Okay, so let's work out some scenarios. Let's look at our past performance. Let's look at, are there migration blips? 100%. Always, right? There's always a migration blip. But it's how it's obviously how you deal with it and manage through it. But we started offering this migration guarantee saying, look, if we lose your customer, we're going to cut you a check for that customer, because then you'll be able to go out and get another customer and replenish them, right? And then that took the stress away from them as far as, wow, okay, if we do move over to these guys are actually going to live up to everything they say and contractually will cut us a check. And, that alone created a buzz in the industry from a branding perspective that, we were always known as the brand that nobody knew about because we were a white labeled provider. So our software would always be branded whatever the telco provider was, right? We were always the brand behind the brand. But within the industry, that move alone, not only did our competitors all think we were absolutely nuts and we were going to go bankrupt, but that spread very quickly within the service providers, the telcos, the ISPs, to the point where people would be calling us saying, like, we weren't even having to call them. They'd be calling us saying, we heard that you've got a great product and that, my friend so-and-so who used to work for me here, but is now at this place and said it was a great experience and you guys lived up to it. You cut a check for any customers that you lost, but now they're growing twice as fast because the product's excellent. So I don't know, Norm, is that kind of what you're alluding to?
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. You shook up the industry at the time,
Yeah.
like 30 minutes and free for pizza. And it was just, nobody could believe it. And in fact, Peter, I don't know if you remember this. I don't think you knew this, but my company, Creative Sparks or Perfusion, one of those two, had a contract with Deluxe doing their websites and their branding. For all their small, medium sized companies. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I did not know that, Norm.
They're out of Minneapolis, right? Or Minnesota or somewhere.
Yeah.
This one is in Midland in Canada.
Oh, Nebs. The old Nebs. They bought Nebs in Midland.
Right. So I was doing that for Nebs. They bought Nebs. Yeah.
Oh, my. What a small world, man.
Now, today, Peter, you're doing some small business stuff or something, right?
I've always done small business, right? Like even with Hostopia, our software was designed to help small business,
it's $10 a month people,
get themselves online, right? But what I'm doing now is it's the evolution, right? It's been many years. Like when we were doing Hostopia, the big thing was if you got yourself online, that if you had a website, that gave you an edge. Because if someone didn't look in the yellow pages and decided to look on their computer on this thing called a web browser, you would come up because you had a website and your competitor didn't.
What's up, everybody? Your good old buddies Norm and Kevin here. And I've got an Amazon creative team that I want to introduce you to.
That's right, Kevin. It's called the House of AMZ, and it's the leading provider in combining marketing and branding with laser focus on Amazon.
Hey, Norm, they do a lot of really cool stuff if you haven't seen what they do, like full listing graphics, premium A+ content, storefront design, branding, photography, renderings, packaging design, and a whole lot of other stuff that Amazon sellers need.
Yeah, and guess what? They have 9 years active in this space. So you can skip the guesswork, trust the experts. There's no fees. There's no retainers. You pay per project.
So if you want to take your product to the next level, check out House of AMZ. That's houseofamz.com. House of AMZ.
Like it was that early, like the AOL days, right?
AOL, Netscape.
That we were part of it. So, and everything evolves, right? And now, having a website, that's having a domain and a website, like that's a basic foundation. If you don't even have that, then
people do that now before even filing a DBA. It's like get the website set up. It's the first thing you do when you start a new business, practically.
Yeah.
But you said something to me just a few months ago, Peter, that we talked about, Kevin and I have talked about before, but you said in a very short period of time, if I understand correctly, you see that websites are just going to be a thing of the past. Like people, and remember we were talking about that Facebook dog walking service and
yeah. So, things are changing and they're changing very, very quickly. Now, you need to have an online presence, right? But the thing is, a website is going to change specifically the way it's being used today, right? So a small business these days, realistically, Like, that dog walker that we talked about,
Yeah.
Norm, like you could start a dog walking service and not even have a website and just market yourself on Facebook in a certain geographic location that you serve. And that can work, right? You don't necessarily need it, but AI is coming in. It's coming in quickly. Generative, like chat, the way we know it, ChatGPT and everything else. That's going to change the way we use the internet, the way we shop, the way we find and discover. And it's the website isn't going to be let me rephrase it. The traffic, I'm predicting the traffic that websites will get, 50% of that traffic is going to be AI bots.
Agents.
Yeah.
Agents and bots. And the website's going to go the way of a brochure. It's going to be a brochure for the AI.
Yeah.
And instead of people going to the website and interacting a lot with the website, they still may. They're going to be, the website is what's feeding the AI.
Well, that's just it, right? Like the websites can never die. Like AI needs to be taught. It needs information. And right now it has surfed the entire internet and continues to consume anything on the internet through websites. They have been able to actually now take it and start using YouTube, because YouTube's all unstructured data and AI can't consume unstructured data. So in order to consume video off of YouTube, they actually are using AI to basically transcribe videos and then consume it and learn from it. So you're going to start to see AI where it's pointing you to video, not just a website. Right?
Well, Gemini, which is Google's, is their number one or number two source for training their AI is YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Because it's also in house. But then you look at OpenAI, it's Wikipedia, and Reddit. Perplexity, it's Google actually. And so it's interesting what's going on there. So how are you? What are you doing in that realm, or how are you playing with this, or how does this affect what you're doing?
Oh, it affects us in a big way. So with Mopro, what we do now, we've built an entire AI platform that helps a small business right from the foundation of getting yourself a good website that's optimized, but that, like I said, that's the foundation, right? There's social media. You need to be, as a business, you need to be on social media as well. You can't not have a presence. That is being looked at by the SERPs. That is being looked at by customers. There's nothing worse than trying to find a company and you land on their Facebook page and it's something that has been set up and the last post was 3 years ago. You wonder, are these people even in business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you need to be active on social media. Content marketing is going to become even more important in websites than ever. But the way you structure content for what's now, being coined as GEO, so Generative Engine Optimization. So you need to start thinking about, okay, what are the bots looking for? How are they going to consume the data? What do I need to be putting on this person's website to try to get the bots to essentially reference this person's website? Because you're getting summaries now, you're getting AI summaries, but they're still providing the links of where they got the information, but you're getting the entire summary. And then you drill in to a specific topic if you want by the link. So geo's starting to become, and that's where we're focusing a lot of our efforts on. Like we're doing, everything from website domain, domain-based email, social channels and posting on social channels and using AI to create, content to help you post on social channels. Like, we've done all of the work that a small business needs to do as of today. And, reviews is still king, believe it or not. Reviews is probably the most important thing a small business can focus on improving.
So the reviews are non-negotiable, right? You got to have them. But
Non-
what are the other non-negotiables?
The reviews are a non-negotiable, but you also need to work the reviews, and a lot of people aren't, right? So they'll get reviews and they'll only respond as a business to a negative review. And as
You're talking about like Yelp and Google and that type of thing, right?
yeah, Gmail and everything else, right? Like, that is how getting found is 50% of the equation. Like, getting yourself to be found by somebody is 50% of the equation. Then getting them to select you, because it's all about choice online, right? Regardless of where you get found, it's going to come down to your reviews, how you treated someone who didn't like your, service and gave you a negative review. Like, we all always click. Like, it's great to see, oh, I love you. But I'm always, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always clicking. Let me see how they handle, where did they screw up? And then how did the company fix it? Because that says a lot about a company.
Yeah, I do that with like hotels and stuff. When I'm looking at a place, I'm looking at reviews on hotels. I don't even look at the positive ones usually. I look at the negative ones, and sometimes the negative ones, like, it's something silly. They give them 1 star because the guy dropped a plate in the restaurant or something and it made a loud noise and they had a headache or some stupid thing. But I also always look at how often do they actually respond, and what is the sincerity of that response? Is it just a canned response, or is it actually someone that's actually, obviously read it and is responding to that particular thing? And that will often make a difference where I go and you can see how much they care.
That is the key, right? It is having a reviews strategy is paramount. And by having a review strategy, I mean, having the tools and systems in place to be able for you to make it a simple way to ask for a review. And just to help everybody understand, we specialize, and who we focus our target on, our target customer is, small business, generally, 10 employees or less, that serve they're a service business, and they serve a local footprint.
So this is a local computer repair guy.
Computer repair, auto repair, roofing, landscaping, doctors, restaurants. And a lot of these guys, like I had somebody who, came out to fix my air conditioner, actually. And, their strategy was asking the service rep after he fixed my air conditioner to ask me to, if I liked his work, to leave a great review for him. Okay. And he laughed. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man, oh man, I need to call this company, because you have now, okay, great, you fixed it. That's what I paid you for. But now you're asking more from me, and you're not making it simple. Okay, so where do you want me to leave a review for you? The guy's like, just, can you leave me a positive review? Okay, where? Do you want it on Google My Business, on Yelp, on, am I supposed to now start searching to find where you have reviews, and do I leave that doesn't work. 90% of us will go out of our way to leave a review when the service is terrible, right? You've had a bad experience, or something that's just beyond expectations, like just wow, they wowed you. But if it's great, good or great, most people aren't going out of their way unless you make it easy for them to do so.
So how do you
And
do that?
well, we've got a system that we've basically tie in. We can tie into anything from a CRM booking systems to accounting, you name it, right? But what is the main trigger? We work with the small business. What is the trigger? When do you want to send a text message to the customer? And the text message is just a simple, thank you so much. Here is your invoice or receipt, or thank you for spending money with us. We appreciate it. Click here. Please, leave us a review. And I'm sure, we're not the only ones that are doing this. I'm sure you guys have gotten them from companies. But, within our suite of product, that's, one of them. Like, we try to provide tools and automate where it makes sense, right? Like reviews, I actually have people in North America. I don't even outsource it, right? I have people in North America that are responding to reviews, because if you outsource it, I find there's always some form of a language gap or barrier that people can pick up on. And
Dear sir.
yeah, like, and I'm all for outsourcing, but you outsource where it makes sense. You're where you're trying to create your brand, and how you treat your customers, and where people are going to be looking and making a decision of whether they want to spend money with you. You don't want to outsource that out to an offshore. So I've got guys in North America, and we pay them very well, but they do a fabulous job. They look at all of our customers' reviews. We've got systems that we've built out, and it prioritizes and queues up. We need to respond to all of these, and how do we respond? And we'll bring in the small business whenever there's a red flag or a negative, to help us respond to it. There's a lot of strategy. So, and Norm, you said, what's the other non-negotiables? Like, I wanted to really help everybody understand how important reviews are. I had a roofing company, and one bad review basically killed his entire business when he came to us. And he didn't know that this review was even out there. He just said, the phone has stopped ringing. My current marketing company sucks. They're not doing their job. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you were happy with them 3 months ago and now you're telling me they suck, well, what's changed? And when we dove into it, we're like, do you know that you've got this really nasty review over here? And sure enough, yeah, it's one of the places that people go to evaluate a contractor. So very, very, very important.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kevin and Norm here with a quick word from one of our sponsors, 8Fig. Let me tell you about a platform that's changing the game for Amazon sellers. That's right, it's called 8Fig. On average, sellers working with 8Fig grow up to 400% in less than a year.
8Fig offers both funding and free tools for e-commerce growth and cash flow management. And here's how it works.
8Fig provides flexible, data-driven funding tailored to your exact needs. They could fund anywhere from up to $50,000 all the way up to $10 million.
8Fig gives you free tools to forecast demand, manage inventory, and analyze cash flow.
Visit 8fig.co, that's 8fig.co, to learn more, or check the link in the show notes below.
Just mention Marketing Misfits and get 25% off your cost.
That's 8fig.co, 8fig.co. See you on the other side.
But
what about comments? I mean, you have the reviews that are sitting on Google or Yelp or maybe your own website or whatever. But then comments, I just saw this happen just yesterday. where someone in the space that Norm and I play in a lot, the Amazon space,
Yeah.
one of the big companies made a big change in their affiliate program, and it really upset a lot of people, and it became a dog pile where one guy commented, and there was one chain and one WhatsApp group that was 200 plus posts long of people just dogpiling and going back and forth, and it's extremely damaging.
Very
And I mean, I've had it happen on a webinar where I'm hosting a webinar and one person comes into the chat and post something negative, and then other people just kind of, in today's internet world, people just like to me too it, and even if they don't truly believe it, they just pile on. So what do you do in those regards, or in that situation? It's easier to do the reviews where you can just go post the comment, but how do you help your clients mitigate the damages that can be done there when someone's posting on social?
That's a tricky one because on certain platforms you can delete, you can block people, you can even stop with or stop comments altogether. But you don't want to do that, especially it's also damaging if someone sees a negative comment and then the next day you've gone and deleted it.
It's like you're hiding something.
It's like you're hiding something, and then they'll call you out on that. Like you just got to deal with it, right? And you've got to be as forthright with them. Like that specific situation is a whole different service, Kevin. Like that is where you're basically a moderator on boards, right? Like you're looking for people who are negative on whether it's on Reddit, whether it's on some Snapchat or whatever the forum is. You need someone who's going to moderate those things.
And there's tools that look for brand mentions like that scour and will alert you that say, hey, if you're John's auto repair in Dearborn, Michigan, it'll look for like someone posting about John's auto repair in Dearborn, Michigan, and then you can go in there and you can you might not have known about it otherwise.
We would do that with Hootsuite back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
We did that back in the late 90s with Hootsuite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Hootsuite started in the late 90s, if not in the early 2000s.
I remember Hootsuite. Yeah. So they would, like we do the search. We, it's getting and knowing about it is one thing, but then managing it is the harder part, right? And
that's why you said, like you said earlier, the whole website thing is changing. All these AIs, one of their big signals and how they rank you or how they show you as the answer is social, and it is reviews. And so, because one of their rationales of that is like, that's what the people really think. Because I can say anything on my website. I can put anything on the website. But when it goes to the real people, that's more of a truth. That's why they favor Quora or Reddit or some of these posts or these sites that are doing that. So managing that is going to become it's more, like you said earlier, this is reviews and by extension, social comments are critical in this new world of AI search and everything that's going on.
100%. Like, and without getting in or trying to sound like a salesy pitch here, like I really am not. But if you were to look at our websites and where we've evolved with websites, like you don't even come close. Like our vision of websites and what is working versus what's in the market these days is night and day, right? Like testimonials, right? I can't tell you how many customers have websites and they have one or two or three hard-coded testimonials that are there. Everybody knows that's BS, that you've, talked to this customer and either asked them, can I say this about you? Or, you even made up. Like I've had companies who have come to us and I'm like, well, can we go back to this customer and get a video? Or they don't really exist. I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't want to post my real customers on my website. Well, you know what? Like, everybody knows that that's what's happening. We actually take a direct feed from all of your reviews, and that's your testimonial. And they're being streamed live on your website as they come in. We're bringing your social channels. Every time you update your social channel, you're updating your website. We're like, the website almost becomes like the centralized portal of your entire online presence, of everything that's going on.
It's the aggregator.
Yeah, I've dealt with small, medium-sized businesses in multiple businesses.
Yeah.
And they could be pains in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
So you're specializing in dealing with small businesses, roofers, insurance guys.
Yeah.
How do you do it? Because I have no hair left on my head because of stupid complaints. Just drove me crazy.
It's tough. You're right, Norm. It's tough. But I also get it, right? I personally am an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. And I think we get it versus someone who has never been an entrepreneur, but yet is trying to serve these customers. They have limited budgets. They're trying to maximize every penny to try to, sometimes not even grow their business. It's make enough money to continue the business, right? But you're right. They expect the world. We've got systems that we've built out, and it's the only way that we could get through it. Like, obviously, we're very clear with what we'll do and how we will do it. They're engaged throughout the entire process, but with us, it's a subscription, right? Like, you're paying, starts at like $199 a month, and you're getting basically a marketing agency to build your website and get your citations listed everywhere. We will post on your social media. We'll work on your content. But, again, it's a lot of it is automation that we've built for ourselves to help us in order to provide that level of service.
Hey, Kevin King and Norm Farrar here. If you've been enjoying this episode of Marketing Misfits, thanks for listening this far. Continue listening. We got some more valuable stuff coming up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast player, or if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify, make sure you subscribe to our channel because you don't want to miss a single episode of the Marketing Misfits. Have you subscribed yet, Norm?
Well, this is an old guy alert. Should I subscribe to my own podcast?
Yeah, but what if you forget to show up one time and it's just me on here? You're not going to know what I say.
I'll buy you a beard and you can sit in my chair too. And you can go back and forth with one another. Yikes! But that being said, don't forget to subscribe, share it. Oh, and if you really like this content, somewhere up there's a banner. Click on it and you'll go to another episode of the Marketing Misfits.
Make sure you don't miss a single episode because you don't want to be like Norm.
Oh.
What's the difference between automation and AI? A lot of people interchange those.
Yeah, hey, you know what? It's a good point, right? Like AI agents are basically automation. We've done a lot of work around our own, like, AI is only as good as the information it's been fed. And, there's a lot of domain specific information and, things on how to do things and what works, what doesn't work in our industry that is our own experience and not necessarily something that everybody is doing. And we've implemented a lot of those through automation. We do say it's AI, or we've trained the AI, but it's our own little ecosystem.
So it could be like when you're talking about automation, just the easiest thing is a trigger. And I think that trigger is within a workflow that either you might have to get a spreadsheet done. So you create a workflow within Make or within Zapier to trigger or do something. So the AI gets to a certain point, and then you finish the workflow off with X, Y, or Z. And that could be multiple trigger points.
100%.
Is that correct?
Yeah. 100%. And, even, websites these days, like, we build custom websites for our customers, but we're using our AI site builder that actually builds 80% of it. And then we'll come in as humans with our creativity, and we will, trust me, there's a lot of things that AI, like someone who's going to go out and just, like AI isn't there yet, where it can build you a website that's actually, it'll build you a website. Is it going to work for you? No.
Right.
Is it gonna convince a customer to come and do business with you when someone, goes on Google and you come up on GMB on that, that beautiful little map? You're not going to convince anybody to do business with you. It's not there yet. It will get there. But, that's where the training comes in from our perspective, is we're training our own AI. Every time we make changes, it feeds back into, well, you didn't do this, so we had to do this. And that's how you continually train it.
So we're coming to close to the end of the podcast, but I have two other kind of branding stories I want you to talk about.
Hey, okay.
One is, and this is kind of cool, you've got a car club.
Yeah.
Pretty good car club.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you've positioned yourself, you've got guys like Ferrari or Maserati or Rolls-Royce dropping off their cars and saying, hey, car club, take these and tell us what you think of it. That's pretty cool. Like I could start a car club.
Get reviews, Norm. Remember, that's unnegotiable. They need reviews.
Right.
And we will give them reviews. Drive your Ferrari.
I can start a car club, and I can't even get a beat up, 1950s.
You need a cigar club, Norm.
A Beetle
cigar club for you.
Yeah.
So it's. Look, it's all around communities, right? Like marketing, being able to find communities that you can market your business into, the right communities. And yeah, I was telling Norm, like we've got, locally here, I'm part of this club that we started that, it's 350, 400 members. And we've got a club, an actual club. Clubhouse, we can go there and hang out, we can work on our cars, we can wash on our cars, there's like a lounge area. It's just a fun environment. And a lot of the guys who are part of the club are die-hard car nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And the car nuts are, a lot of them are buying the Porsches, the Ferraris, the Lamborghini, like you name it, right? All kinds of stuff. And it's amazing to see that we'll actually get, car dealers who will drop off. Like, hey, we've got a Range Rover. Like that was actually just last week, right? Like they came and dropped off, a Range Rover for us. And it's like, hey, drive it. And they're hoping they'll get a sale out of it, but also reviews on the car.
All right. Last story. There was some branding, and I don't know how you thought this was brilliant. I've never seen somebody in the marketing field do this before. You came up with this branding campaign where you're a DJ on the side. You're a DJ. You're
going there, aren't you?
Where you were streaming live.
Oh my!
And you fell asleep.
Oh my!
And your video went viral. Like it went crazy. Then after that, you had this huge community based on you falling asleep.
So yeah, okay. I'm turning red. Listen, hey, I always say it. Like I there's a big element of sometimes luck or something will happen that you didn't plan. And I'd love to say that I strategically planned out what happened. So for everybody out there, during COVID, I've been a DJ my whole life. I remix songs, and it's a passion of mine. It's a hobby. It's a passion. It's the way I relax. And during COVID, friends of mine had said, hey, there's this new platform, TikTok. Why don't you get on there and we can all meet on TikTok? Because we tried doing it through Zoom and the sound wasn't good. And then, anyways, long story short, I set up an account and I went live on TikTok. And all of a sudden, because my friends were like, who's going to know that you're on? Like, it's just going to be us, and we'll all just kind of, hang out in the chat. I'm like, okay. And I did. And I'm DJing and having some fun, and I'm, drinking my wine and cheersing people on the screen. And next thing you know, like, we start getting people joining in because you can't restrict it. And people were finding us. I'm like, this is kind of neat. And I'm getting people who are starting to follow me now. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then just kept doing it for a couple of weeks. And again, in the middle of COVID, it's like midnight or something. I can't sleep. I'm like, I'm just gonna, go live, and I'm gonna go DJ to get my mind off things. And I thought, I'll hit the live. And I'm having a glass of wine and I'm DJing. And I ended up just falling asleep, like, on the camera. And the problem is, like, I've got sleep apnea, so I snore really badly when I'm sleeping, and I just pass out on my chair, and I'm snoring, and all of a sudden I went viral. Like, it went nuts. I had like something insane. I was sleeping, so I don't know the exact numbers, but people were telling me, like, it was nuts. Like, everybody was pinging everybody else. You got to see this. They were recording me and then putting it on their live or their posts. And anyways, I went from basically, 100, 200 people to 100,000 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's like I started a trend. Then I would be on TikTok and I'm scrolling through, and here's some guy in his bed and he's just sleeping.
It's like a new meme.
I was going to say.
Are you kidding me? Like, these guys are now. So it's like I started a trend. I got a call the next day from a local Toronto radio station who heard about this. And not call, actually. They pinged me on TikTok, but then they had said, let's get on a call. We want to talk to you about this. This is hilarious. And I'm like, oh, my poor wife was like, I cannot believe this. But, it helped, even though, yes, people followed me because they thought I was some crazy guy who passed out. Is he alive? Or, listen to his snoring. That propelled me as a TikTok DJ celebrity to a whole different sphere, because now these people were all following me. Every time I'd go on, they would get notified that I'm on. I would have 100,000 people all at the same time trying to connect on my channel. TikTok at the time didn't have the infrastructure to support it. Like, so people would get cut off and cut out, and it was a funny time.
So, Kevin, there'll be about 2 minutes of Peter sleeping and snoring. We'll insert it here. We'll have to let the editor know.
Use that as the hook at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Get me there with my sleep apnea.
Yes, man, that's awesome.
Everything happens for a reason, and like I said, sometimes it's luck, and sometimes you think you couldn't even think something like that through. Right. And like, I'd love to say, oh yeah, I'm a marketing genius and I like, no, it's the truth. I fell asleep and woke up with 100,000 followers.
All right. We are past the top of the hour. Peter, how do people get a hold of you?
Go to my website, mopro.com. You can, my LinkedIn, Peter Kostandenou, or look up Mopro. You'll find me there. That's probably the best way.
All right. Very good. So at the end of every podcast, we ask our misfit, do they know a misfit?
To be quite frank, nothing that comes to mind right away, but I'll certainly get back to you guys if I do.
Very good. I think you do, but we'll leave it at that.
Well,
Okay.
you've already had one of the misfits on, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's that time. Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you,
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the good
that was
story.
fun. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's great. Great show. I love your show.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate
I'm
it.
just going to remove you now. If I can do my job. Done. Hey. Boom, 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 boom.
What happened? What happened?
Oh, you were doing a Peter impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I was trying to help the podcast, Norm. I was trying to get some more viewers and listeners. You interrupted it. You ruined it.
I'm
You
sorry.
just let me sleep.
So Peter's an awesome guy,
Yeah,
and
no.
he's ultra brilliant as well.
It's really cool conversation, really fun. We always have fun on this podcast.
We do.
And so, if you want to join in the fun, how do they do that?
They can go to marketingmisfits.co, or even better, if you want to go to YouTube and go to Marketing Misfits Podcast. But if you only want the shorts, if you want to take out those little nuggets, you can. We just set this up. It's Marketing Misfits Clips, and those are 3 minutes or less videos, and also our new TikTok channel, which is it's actually doing quite well. So we just started it a few weeks ago, and we're getting some good response. We don't have 100,000 followers. You can follow us if you like.
I was trying to get us that by.
We do know a way now. We know a way.
We know what to do. We
Yeah.
know what to do. That's good. Yeah, and so you guys know what to do too, is to hit that follow button or to subscribe to this channel if you like the Misfits podcast, and be sure to check out our other episodes. We talked a little bit about AI and how that's changing stuff here. We've done quite a few episodes, so check down in the directory there, the listing on the channel, and you can see several of the others that we've done with AI if that's something that you're interested in. But worlds are changing, but it's still a place to have a lot of fun if you approach it with the right attitude.
All right, everybody.
All right, we'll see you next
you later.
Tuesday. Take care.